Talk show hosts Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos bicker like a married couple. That's probably because they are. The former soap stars married in 1996. He joined her as host of Live with Kelly full-time in 2023. He previously guest hosted the show from time to time. During a recent episode of their morning talk show, she compared her husband to a vicious dog. Keep reading to find out why she would say such a thing. Kelly Ripa mourns beloved dog. Kelly Ripa had to face the worst part of being a pet owner. Her beloved dog, Chewy, passed away in February. The 17-year-old Shih Tzu was put to sleep after a steep decline in health. She actually met the dog through the daytime talk show. It was just a young puppy when it was on the show as part of an adoptable dog segment. During an episode shortly after the dog's passing, Kelly Ripa opened up about how hard it was. She revealed that the dog was a constant companion to the 3 kids she has with Mark Consuelos. The 4-legged family member was a great comfort as each of the children grew up and went off to college. The longtime couple recently shared an NSFW perk about being empty nesters. Chewy wasn't the only dog in the household. Kelly Ripa adopted Lena, a Maltese/Shih Tzu mix, a few years ago. The small dog recently went missing, causing major concern for the talk show host. She compares her husband to a Rottweiler. If you ask Kelly Ripa, it's actually a 3-dog household if you include her husband. The real-life married couple loves to jab at each other during segments on the talk show. They recently joked about if he would remarry if she died. Mark Consuelos also said that his wife is as romantic as a construction worker. Ouch! But her latest insult takes the cake. The Live with Kelly and Mark talk show hosts were talking about the trend of dogs looking like their owners. Kelly Ripa said that her lookalike passed away in February, referring to Chewy. According to Kelly Ripa, her husband looks much more vicious than their adorable Shih Tzu mix, Lena. Instead, she compared him to a Rottweiler. She instructed her husband to look directly into the camera so that viewers and the live audience could see the resemblance. He obliged her and gave the camera a menacing look. Statistics indicate that Rottweilers are the second most deadly dogs after pit bulls. However, owners of the scary breed insist they are gentle giants. Kelly Ripa was obviously kidding about her husband resembling a Rottweiler. She went on to tell the audience what a big softie he is when it comes to their small dogs. She said that Mark Consuelos didn't want Lena, but now carries her into restaurants in a purse. Do you see the humor in her comparing him to a dog breed, or did she go too far? It started like any other cozy morning on Live with Kelly and Mark. The lights were warm, the mugs were steaming, and the married co-hosts, Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos, were already in sync with their usual playful banter. But halfway through the opening host chat segment, things took a surprisingly feral turn and left both the audience and crew howling. After the usual updates on their morning coffee habits, kids, and Mark's inability to stop flexing every time he picked something up, Kelly launched into a story that seemed innocent enough. She was talking about their new neighbor's Doberman, a sleek, intimidating beast named Fang. Fang. Mark laughed. Sounds like a villain from a cartoon. Oh no, Kelly replied, arching a perfectly sculpted brow. Fang is real. And Mark, you are Fang. The audience laughed, unsure where she was going, but Kelly's face was serious, or at least mischievously deadpan. You're calling me a Doberman? Mark asked, amused. I'm calling you a Doberman, she clarified, crossing her arms. Let me explain. The crew, sensing something good was brewing, subtly zoomed in as Kelly leaned in with storytelling flair. So the other night, she began, I'm coming back from Pilates. It's like 7:30, I'm sore, I'm exhausted. And I hear this growl from across the street. I turn, and there's Fang, pressed up against his gate, eyes locked on me like he's calculating which part of me to bite first. And what do? I freeze, because I know you never run from a predator. Mark chuckled. That's actually good advice. Right, she said, nodding. So I just keep walking slowly. But then it hits me, that dog, the way he stared me down. That's you. That is exactly what you're like when I touch the remote control. The audience burst into laughter, and Mark held a hand to his chest in mock outrage. I do not growl when you touch the remote. Oh, really? She fired back. Do you want me to do my impression? Without waiting, she lowered her voice and mimicked. Did you just skip the end credits? I was still digesting the plot twist. More laughter followed. Mark blushed, shaking his head. That's not growling. That's being emotionally invested in storytelling. No, Kelly insisted. It's territorial. Like Fang and his lawn. You and the remote. I swear, if I try to fast forward, your ears perk up, your body stiffens, and you're on alert. Mark played along, mock sniffing the air. Do I also bark when I think someone's about to spoil the show? You bark, you pounce. And don't get me started on what happens if I sit in your spot on the couch, she added. The growl becomes a glare. A deep, intense, husbandly glare. The kind that says, Woman, I've hunted this cushion, I've claimed it, and now you dare trespass. The crowd roared with laughter. Mark threw up his hands. Okay. I'm a Doberman. A vicious, territorial Doberman with a TV addiction. Kelly paused for a beat, then added sweetly. But you're my vicious Doberman. Loyal to a fault. Always ready to protect. Ah, Mark said, mock-touched. That almost made it sweet. Almost, she smirked. But Kelly wasn't finished. And let's not forget how you act when there's food involved. We went to a restaurant last week, and the waiter brought one appetizer instead of two. You stared at that plate like it was prey. I swear, your jaw clenched. I thought you were going to lunge. I didn't lunge, Mark objected, laughing. I was just hungry. No, you were coiled like a Doberman about to strike. I was scared to reach for a shrimp. The image of Mark Consuelos guarding a shrimp cocktail like a guard dog sent the audience into another round of giggles. A few audience members even barked in solidarity. But Kelly wasn't just poking fun. She brought it full circle. The thing about Dobermans, she said, softening her voice, is that while they seem intimidating, they're actually sweet, devoted, and always watching your back. That's Mark. He may growl over the remote and guard his snacks like a security detail, but he's also the guy who walks me to the door every morning. Who stays up late just to make sure I get home safe. Who watches over our kids, our house, and even me when I fall asleep on the couch in his spot. Mark smiled, touched. Now that's more accurate. She added with a wink, but don't get too comfortable. I've already put in a request to the ASPCA. For what? He asked. To have you crate trained. The audience howled as Mark dramatically slumped in his chair, feigning defeat. I knew this was a setup. Kelly took a final sip of her coffee, victorious. Good boy, she said, patting his head. The segment wrapped with their usual upbeat transition to the rest of the show. Celebrity guests, cooking demos, and prize giveaways. But the Doberman comparison stuck. Fans flooded social media with memes of Mark as a snarling dog guarding the TV remote, and hashtag #TeamFang trended by noon. Later that day, Kelly posted a selfie with Mark. Him baring his teeth in a mock snarl, her holding a leash. Captioned, I married the watchdog. Hashtag live with Fang. It was another classic live moment. Wild, hilarious, weirdly relatable. And a reminder that even in marriage, laughter and a bit of growling goes a long way. Sound off in the comments.